Welcome to this video on the impact of the Wargames movie on the American cybersecurity landscape. After watching this video, you will be able to explain the events that led to the formulation of America's first cybersecurity policy, list the elements of the National Security Decision Directives, NSDD 145. The award-winning movie Wargames was released in 1983 against the backdrop of the Cold War. Quite inadvertently, it spurred the development of the first American cybersecurity policy. Let's see how. The movie follows David Lightman, a bright high school student with an affinity for hacking. David stumbles upon a backdoor into a United States military supercomputer while searching for new games. Mistaking the system for a game developer's computer, he initiates what he believes to be a simulation of a thermonuclear war, titled Global Thermonuclear War. However, he remains oblivious to the fact that the computer he has accessed, called War Operation Plan Response, WOPR, is responsible for predicting possible outcomes of nuclear war and could trigger World War III if provoked. As David progresses in the game, he unknowingly prompts the computer to start counting down to a potential real-world nuclear conflict. This action leads to national panic and desperate military scrambling to understand the source of the launch countdown. The government soon becomes aware of David's accidental intrusion, leading them to suspect him of espionage. In a race against time, David, his friend Jennifer, and the system's original designer, Dr. Stephen Falcon, try to convince the military that what they see is a simulation gone awry, not an actual threat. Their biggest challenge is to outsmart the WOPR, which is set on playing the global thermonuclear war game to its conclusion. Dr. Falcon had previously programmed the computer to learn from failures in tic-tac-toe, hoping it would understand that some games cannot be won. David repeatedly prompts WOPR to play tic-tac-toe against itself. The system eventually realizes that the only winning move is not to play, halting the countdown and averting disaster. This seemingly outlandish movie plot raised a genuine concern for the President of the United States of America, Ronald Reagan. He was worried about the country's susceptibility to such cyber threats and the lack of adequate security measures to prevent such cybersecurity breaches. President Reagan tasked his security advisors with investigating the feasibility of such a situation. Responding to the president's concerns, his security advisors thoroughly reviewed the nation's cybersecurity infrastructure. They acknowledged the potential reality of a situation like the one in the movie and began to develop a robust national cybersecurity policy. This initiative led to the creation of America's first national policy on telecommunication and automated information systems security. This policy, known as the National Security Decision Directives, or NSDD 145, was implemented on September 17, 1984. NSDD 145 outlined a complex directive to safeguard national communications and information systems. It mandated the maintenance and enhancement of government capabilities to secure telecommunications and automated information systems, safeguarding them from exploitation. The policy involved three key elements: establishing a process for evaluating threats and vulnerabilities, optimizing the allocation of government resources, and mandating the secure protection of all systems involved in generating, storing, processing, transferring, or communicating classified information electronically to prevent compromise or exploitation. NSDD 145 also stated that the government should encourage, advise, and assist the private sector in identifying systems that handle sensitive, non-government information, which could pose a risk to national security, and develop strategies and measures for protection against exploitation and the associated risk. NSDD 145 also established the National Telecommunications and Information Systems Security Committee, NTISSC, to address technical matters and develop operating policies necessary for implementing this directive. In this video, you learn that the Wargames movie prompted President Ronald Reagan to implement the country's first national cybersecurity policy, NSDD 145. The policy outlined a comprehensive directive to protect national communications and information systems. The policy highlighted three key elements: establish a process for evaluating threats and vulnerabilities, optimize the allocation of government resources, and Mandate the secure protection of all systems involved in handling classified electronic information.